Yeah, and I agree with you. One, when you're talking about just Justin Fields playing now and him running around, one, we're not even sure how many plays that he can read the entirety of the field. So he may be a 1-2 read guy, and what I mean by that is it's going to make him take off running more often since he can't read the entirety of the field, which leads to your point of getting hurt because you're running all the time. I'm not a fan of he can run, put him in. I'm like, get this line together, because you saw what Juan Castillo could do, as you just said last season, with trying to figure out which guys fit and becoming a cohesive unit. Let them try to become a cohesive unit. Jason Peters just got into camp, so let that take place. All right, that's how I feel in that direction. I want to get to Matt Nagy. Yesterday, he was asked a question about what made him kind of change his mind since last season about taking over the play call again. And he really didn't give a clear answer. And my question, when I thought about this interviewing you today, has he given clearer answers since he's decided to reclaim the play call? Because, I mean, outside of bravado, and if I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out on my shield, I don't have a real reason on why he took back the play call. And look, personally, and I don't know Matt Nagy like that, I like Matt Nagy. Like, yeah. Even though it can be frustrating what happens on the field, I kind of he seems like a guy that I could vibe with.
Bravado is a great word. I think that is part of it, honestly. The best I can do to answer that question, no, he hasn't really given a succinct answer, but he has said this a number of times. He loves to call plays. He has said that. He loves doing it. I think it was excruciating for him last year when he gave up the play calling to Bill Lazor. I think he hated it, and I think he knew it was almost like taking medicine. Like, okay, I'm gonna do this, but it's gonna be. I don't care. Like, if Bill Lazor was calling plays where the Bears scored 35 points a game, Matt Nagy, damn it, he was taking play calling back. That is what he feels like his worth is as a head coach. He may be underestimating himself. You know what I mean? Like, he came in here and it's been all about offense, and let Vic Fangio and Chuck Pagano and now Sean Desai, let them deal with the defense. I got the offense. I got the quarterback. And unfortunately for Matt Nagy, he has not lived up to that yet. His offenses have been average at best since he came in. Can a coach get better? Can a coach develop into a better play caller? Yeah, I think that is possible, but Matt Nagy still has to show it. So I think there's a lot of pressure on Matt Nagy going into this year. And if the offense is not good, say, 3 or 4 games into it, will he give up play calling again? Because he said the reason he did it is because, he holds his players accountable and he held himself accountable. So I guess he would have, unless he's changing his overall philosophy, he would have to hold himself accountable again. But the answer is he loves play calling, and it doesn't get any, better than that in terms of an answer that I would be able to give you.
That Davis Show with Bear Salad reporter for WSCR, Mark Grote. Mark, let me ask you this, and I asked Matt Nagy this, and I want to know your opinion. Will he really commit to the run this season? And in your heart of hearts, can a leopard change his spots?
The good money is on no. I mean, I don't know how to answer this anymore, because I'm the one who keeps saying, yes, he gets it. He understands it. I think it was at the last time I was at a combine. I guess it was after 2019. Oh no, it was the whatever. But anyway, he talked about how, he's got to run more. He's got to run more. He's got to. Yeah, I know. I got to play to my player's skill set. I have to play to the talent. We need time of possession. I mean, he talks about it a lot, but we just haven't seen it from Matt Nagy. And last year, David Montgomery ended up, in the last 5 games, he was looking elite as a running back. I mean, we finally saw the full David Montgomery. So hopefully Matt Nagy saw the same thing, and maybe he has, because the one thing that I feel like Matt Nagy has never had is complete trust in a running game, and that if one play goes backwards, like literally you lose a yard, he abandoned it. So I don't know, man. I'd like to think he will, and I think that they're in a position where they have to, because you have a strong interior of your offensive line at this point, and they're going to be, the Rams defense is damn good. I mean, they were number 1 last year, and there shouldn't be much tail. There's no reason why they would fall off the map this year in terms of defense. So I think Nagy will understand that he has to run it. But I've said that before. So I don't want to get burned. I just don't want to get burned.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you. Look, I want to ask you a question about Sean Desai. I was on a podcast and someone asked me about his future, and they were kind of insinuating that down the line, if he's successful, could he perhaps take over the starting job? That's not the question I want to ask you. But I said something to them that I hadn't spoken aloud, but had been in my mind in the past. And it was, and I wish the best for Sean Desai. I believe he's as intelligent as everyone says. But in a situation where you have a coach that's kind of on the hot seat, how many big name coordinators were going to take that job? I'm happy he has the job, but I guess the question I'm asking, does he have it by default because nobody else is going to come in here for 1 year and perhaps be fired with Matt Nagy?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, and it really hasn't come up enough, in terms of the candidates that came through Hallis Hall for that job. And I agree with you too. It does seem like Sean Desai checks all the boxes in terms of his competency as a coordinator. I will say this though, that I don't know how hot the Matt Nagy seat is, because honestly, his bosses have given no indication of that. And I know Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy are kind of one and the same in terms. So Ryan Pace has supported him. Obviously, George McCaskey, the chairman of the board, has supported him and given no reason for us to think that he's on any kind of hot seat. It's easy for us to project that just because, back-to-back 8 seasons the last 2 years and underperforming on offense. But I don't know that his seat is as hot as other coaches are in the NFL. It's probably a little bit warm, and if things go really badly, like a 3 or 4 win season, then the seat will get hot. But I think that he has more job security than people think, although the outside perception may be different, and that might have kept some coordinators from wanting to work here.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Last one. Well, actually, it's a two-parter. What's your expectations for this game? And then later on, your expectations for this season?
First of all, I don't do two-parters, so I don't know. Yeah, that's not in my contract. I told your producer, no two-part questions. I don't do that crap.
Apologies.
No, wait, what was the first question?
What do you expect to happen in this upcoming game Sunday night?
Oh man, yeah. So I'm already on record as saying I think that this is going to be a tough one for the Bears. I do think that the Rams are going to win it. I think I'm going Rams. I think it's a bit close because every NFL game is close and it's the beginning of the year and everybody's hyped and healthy. I think it's going to be a Rams 24-17 win. It's Matthew Stafford, and he's dangerous. The Bears have seen him. They are familiar with his work. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to help the Bears, because we've seen Matthew Stafford burn the Bears in the past. I mean, we're not talking like Aaron Rodgers effect with Matthew Stafford. I don't want to overdo it. I just think that they know who they are on offense. Mm-hmm. We know who Robert Woods is. We know who Cooper Kupp is. We know what that defense is and what that identity is. I think the Bears are still trying to figure it out. And I just think pound for pound, right now, the LA Rams are a better team. So I'm going with the Rams 24-17. And then the second part to your dangerous two-part question, what was it?
The expectations for this upcoming season for the Bears.
Oh, yes. All right. So the Bears have been 8-8 the last 2 seasons. I have not seen anything from the Bears in this preseason or in camp that would lead me to think that they are better than that. Obviously, they can't be 8-8 because of the extra game. So I'll give them the plus side. I'll give them 9 wins this year, 9-8. And obviously, so much of this is subject to change on what happens at the quarterback spot. Justin Fields can change the equation. I just need to see it. I need to see this team take that next level up, and maybe they will, because there's so much we didn't see in the preseason in terms of preserving players and those guys that I mentioned, if they go to the next level. But in terms of giving a prediction on the season, I can't assume those guys are going to go to the next level, and so I got the Bears at 9-8 as we sit here right now.